Well, while I'm waiting on parts to arrive for the project, I figured I'd go through and clean all the boards up, get them ready to go. I got my reproduction labels made up for every board, so everything is cleaned up and labeled and in good shape. And what I'm going to do is go through and show all the boards working and the differences between the video outputs, and you'll see that there's not really any way to have them all be the same. Each game has a different onboard video graphics and hardware. So for instance, you know, if MK1 is perfect on the screen as far as height, width, and all that stuff, you put MK2 in and all of a sudden it'll be shifted over this way. If you shift it back this way, when you put MK1 back in, it'll be back over this way. So you put MK1 in and it's fine, MK2 will be shifted this way, MK3 might be shifted this way, MK4 might be going down a bit. So there's no way to have it all be the same because they're all different hardware. So what you'll have to do is just find a happy medium. You may have to have the image shifted slightly to the left for one game or for it to be good on off to the right on another, and you'll see what I mean. But let's just go through and take a look at all the boards here. You can see I've got new batteries, new CMOS batteries in all the boards, so we don't have to worry about CMOS issues. These are CR2032s. Really, basically any 3-volt lithium battery will work. So I just wanted to point that out as well. But you can see I've got all the ROM labels, all my reproduction labels installed on all the games, all the PCBs. And I've got MK2 Plus installed on MK2, obviously. MK1 is revision 5.0. Let's see, this is UMK3 Plus. And you can see all the new labels and everything. And you can see I made some custom ones here. It's a UMK3 Plus. In hindsight, I should have put the UMK3 Plus on these ROMs here, because these 4 ROMs here that aren't normally used on UMK3 are part of the UMK3 Plus as well, but they are regularly used on regular MK3. So they just hopped down. They emptied this row and hopped them down one. But this row is 8 megabyte ROMs, megabit. I'm sorry. This row is 8 megabit ROMs, and this row is 4 megabit ROMs. So they have to change it out. So when you upgrade to UMK3 Plus, this missing row that's normally not populated, you got to put 4 megabit ROMs in there. But yeah, and then we have regular Survivor MK3 here. This is all original MK3 security chip and original 2.1 ROMs. So this is an original Survivor MK3. Everything has been set to free play. Everything has been set to have attract mode sounds off. And we're all set and good to go. So let's get the camera set up, and I'll show you the differences between the boards as far as what you'll run into if you do a project like this. You'll see what I mean as far as the different screen positions for each board, and you'll have to just find the happy medium to where everything looks the best it can be unless you want to physically adjust your monitor after every game change, which I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to find the happy adjustment medium, and it's going to be on my little 13-inch test rig here. I'm not going to do it on my main monitor yet till I get it in the cabinet and get everything set up. So for that being said, let's cut away here, get the camera on the tripod, and I'll get one game installed at a time and show you what I mean about everything being off slightly. So one moment. Alright, so we'll start here with MK1. And we'll skip past the check here. That's a bit too bright. We're going to say right about there is pretty good. So if we start a 2-player game here, and I obviously have no soundboard hooked up, but you'll see this is basically perfect. So you can see it's perfect height and exactly this width is perfect. You know, I can move the position here, but basically right about there is equidistant. Right there is about perfect for MK1. Now watch what happens when I put MK2 in. Excuse me. Okay, now if I do this game, there we go. Now you'll see it's shifted to the right slightly. There you can see how it's shifted. There's hardly any space here and there is over there, so I would have to shift the monitor's image slightly this way to get it to be even. So MK1's perfect, MK2 is slightly to the right. Now, let's do MK3. And you can see how already it's too far to the right. So that's even further to the right. There's a black bar over here. So if I was to move this to where it's at least got all the, if I can move it here to where it's at least got all the energy bar on the screen like MK2 did, that's at least okay. At least you have both energy bars on screen. Now UMK3 is going to be exactly the same because it's the same exact hardware on the same exact type of board. So if we do MK4, so we already know MK2 was shifted to the right, so was MK3. So now MK2 would be about perfect to allow, because I had to shift it to the left to make MK3's bar show up. So now MK2 will be about perfect. And MK3 will be good, MK2 is perfect. Let's see what happens to MK4. And you can see even here on this 13-inch monitor, it's pretty much basically on par video-wise output with the rest of the boards after putting those resistors in line like I mentioned before in the previous video. So MK4 is perfect. See how it's equidistant on both ends? So this is perfect. MK3 is good, MK4 is good, and we know MK2 will be good. So let's put MK1 back in now. See, now MK1 is shifted slightly this way. There's less gap over here than there is here, but that's totally, this right here is totally playable. This would not really bother me at all. So that's what I mean. You have to kind of find a particular happy medium where all the games will look good. It may not, it's not going to be exactly centered on every game, so you'll have to find the happy medium. But I wanted to explain that in case somebody or one of you guys out there does the same type of project and you run into this issue. It will not be perfect on all the games. You'll have to either adjust every game as you switch it, which isn't really something that I'd ever want to do, or just adjust it to where you have a good centered image as much as possible with each game. So that's the way it should work, and I'll be happy with that. But I wanted to point that out. I wanted to show the games all working, all cleaned up, all the ROM labels installed, and everything ready to go. So as soon as I get my parts in, we'll start on cleaning up the cabinet and getting everything going, so stay tuned.